Quick question. Have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling drained? Like the other person didn't just argue with you, they pulled the energy right out of you. Maybe it was that coworker who always has to prove they're right, or a family member who turns every dinner into a debate, or maybe it happened online. One comment spiraling into a fight that left you exhausted. What you felt wasn't just annoyance. You were caught in the gravity of ego. And here's the paradox. The more conscious you become, the more clearly you see it. The bragging, the posturing, the endless need to be louder, smarter, stronger. Awareness is powerful, but it can feel like a curse. Because once you see the game, you also see how easily you can be pulled into it. So here's the question. How do you stay free without becoming cold or weak? Sigmund Freud once said, "The ego is the mask that negotiates between our instincts and the outside world." But the problem comes when the mask becomes the face, when people forget it's theater and start believing the role is reality. And we live in a world that rewards this. Social media pays in likes, not in truth. Politics rewards domination, not wisdom. At work, ego often decides who gets heard, not competence. Noise has become a currency. Whoever makes the most noise wins the room. But here's the truth. Noise is not strength. Nearly 2,000 years ago, Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Power doesn't begin when you outshout the other voice. It begins when you refuse to play their game. Modern science confirms what the Stoics already knew. When your ego reacts, when you feel insulted or challenged, your brain floods with cortisol and adrenaline. This is the fight-or-flight circuit, useful when escaping a predator. But in a conversation with your boss, your partner, or your child, it clouds judgment. Psychologists call it the amygdala hijack, when the emotional brain seizes control of the rational brain. Carl Jung warned, "Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate." And Nietzsche added, "One must still have chaos in oneself to give birth to a dancing star." So ego is not the enemy, but without mastery, it becomes a prison. So how do we deal with ego, in others and in ourselves? I use 3 steps. Step 1, don't fight ego with ego. When someone flexes, your instinct is to flex back, but that's the trap. Their ego feeds on your reaction. So pause, breathe, see it for what it is, theater. And once you see the play, you don't need to buy a ticket. Step 2, hold your ground with clarity. Ego loves to invade your space, interrupting, demanding, controlling. You don't need to fight, but you do need boundaries. A calm, firm, "That doesn't work for me." It carries more strength than an entire argument. Boundaries are like oxygen, invisible but vital. Step 3, transform the energy. Behind every ego is insecurity. Instead of reacting, redirect. Ask, what do you really want here? How does this move us forward? Questions slice through ego like light through fog. They pull the mask away and reveal the human underneath. Here's how it looks in real life. At work, instead of fighting for credit, highlight the shared goal. Ego shrinks in the light of collaboration. At home, when someone argues to dominate, don't escalate. Sometimes silence has more weight than pride. With friends, be the one who can admit fault first. Authenticity creates trust that ego can't fake. Online, don't feed trolls. Their stage collapses when you refuse to clap. In every situation, ego offers you bait. Eudynamism is learning to see the hook before you bite. But the hardest ego to deal with is your own. It whispers, "They disrespected you. Fight back. You need to prove yourself. Don't let them win." If you obey blindly, you become the very person you criticize. So here's a practice. At the end of the day, ask yourself, Where did my ego drive me today? And where did I choose clarity instead? This daily reflection is like cleaning a mirror. Slowly, you see yourself more clearly. Think of it like running. If you sprint blindly, you collapse. But if you master your rhythm, pain transforms into energy. That's Eudynamism, living with intensity, but never enslaved. Life throws egocentric people at you the way a trail throws hills at a runner. You can curse the hill, or you can use it to grow stronger. Their chaos becomes your training ground. Their noise becomes your silence. Their insecurity becomes your clarity. This is what the path looks like in practice. No more wasted energy in ego battles. Resilience sharpened through challenge. Authenticity replacing performance. Freedom from manipulation and propaganda. Wisdom turned into daily action. Passion balanced with clarity. Inspiration found in unique states. Charisma over manipulation. Emotional health as reward, and most importantly, walking the shared journey together. These are the 10 principles of Eudynamism. So here's the truth. Ego will always be loud, but the loudest voices are often the most fragile. You don't need to destroy your ego. You don't need to fight every person living inside theirs. What you need is to rise above, to feel deeply but stay lucid, to live intensely but never in chains. That is the discipline of lucid intensity. That is Eudynamism. And this channel exists to walk that path with you, to share tools, stories, and strategies for living beyond ego and into freedom. So if you're ready for more energy, more focus, and more clarity, stay with me. Together, we'll rise beyond the ego and master our flame.